Hey friends, in today's video I'm sharing with you my picks and recommendations from the Sephora collection branded makeup, because as you know, the Sephora savings event is happening right now, and this specific brand, Sephora's brand, is 30% off for every tier. And it doesn't matter if you're Rouge, if you're VIB, if you're Insider, you get 30% off. So I thought I would share my favorites. Okay, let's go ahead and kick it off with the Best Skin Ever foundation. It is what I have on the skin right now. This is so beautiful. Now, what I love about Sephora collection is that they're already priced at a pretty accessible price point. They're one of the more affordable brands at Sephora, if not the most affordable at Sephora. So then with an additional 30% off, you get this for pretty much probably drugstore prices. And this, you guys, is as good as any high-end foundation that I own. Even when I was applying it today, I was like, why don't I wear this every day? It is so beautiful. It is very skin-like. It has a good weight to it. I wouldn't say that it's heavy and thick, but it's also not thin and watery. It's got like this moderate kind of viscosity to it, and it just glides over the skin so beautifully. The skin looks so smooth and just skin-like. That's the best way to describe it. It's not like really radiant or glowy, but it's definitely not matte either. It wears beautifully throughout the day and it blends out seamlessly. This is a good one, you guys. I wear the shade 18P and it is pretty much a perfect match for me. Okay, we're gonna go in order of application. So next up, I have the Best Skin Ever Concealer. Now, I've been talking about this for a while. When I discovered this last year, this was definitely in a favorites video or two. It is beautiful, similar to the foundation. It's very skin-like. It blends out so beautifully. It's got a very good texture to it. It's not super thin, but it's not thick either. I think it's very, very mature skin friendly. I would say it has a pretty natural to radiant finish. I do set it with a little bit of powder, but it's beautiful. Lasts all day. As long as you set it with a little powder, you really don't have to worry about creasing or moving throughout the day. I have the shade 08P and it's what I have on now and it looks great. I do feel like it's slightly a little too light. I know I bought the shade darker, but I don't know what I did with it because I originally bought this shade and I loved it so much that I was like, you know what? I love this concealer enough. I'm going to buy the correct shade. And I don't know what I did with it, but this one works. This one works. When I first go on to apply it, I'm like, okay, this is way too light. But once all the makeup is on, it works. So just a little heads up, if we are shade twins, this one will work, but you should probably go with the next shade up. It's beautiful. Very, very great for mature skin. Okay, let's talk about powders, you guys. I love the Sephora Loose Blur It powder in the pink shade. This is so smoothing and blurring. When you apply this to the skin, I apply it underneath the eyes and the center of the face. You just see pores and texture just smooth out, blur away, disappear. Very nice. It's also very lightweight. It's not a heavy powder. It does definitely mattify the skin. So if you are someone that likes a radiance or a glow, or you're wearing a foundation that has a radiance or a glow, this is going to completely cancel that out. So keep that in mind. If you don't like a matte finish, I wouldn't recommend this one. When you open it, it has this cute little puff in here, and I have not tossed this, even though I haven't really used this because I'm a brush girl, as we know. But if you're a puff girl, this is actually pretty great. You can use this right underneath the eye. I haven't tossed it because I don't want to toss it. I think it's cute and I love that it comes in here. And then you just lift up and you can access the product here. It has like a little mesh cover. Very great, very lightweight, very nice. Perfect for setting underneath the eye because it's not too heavy. Okay, now this is a new product. I actually just picked this up the other day because I wanted to try more Sephora products and have other recommendations for you. This is the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. It has a natural radiant finish. These are nice, you guys. I got the shade 30 Sand Light Neutral for my shade, and this is beautiful. So I applied the Blur It underneath the eyes and the forehead, and then I applied this all over the face with the BK Beauty 104. And as I was applying this, same thing, similar to the Blur It powder, I saw everything smooth out and blur away. It definitely is a heavier powder though than the loose powder. They're very, very, very different. So this has a very mattified finish. This has a more of like a natural finish to it, so it's not going to be as matte. There's quite a bit of kickback with this, so be careful when you go to use it. You're gonna have a mess. You're gonna use your brush and you're gonna get a lot of kickback, but it applied beautifully. I would kind of compare this similarly to the Kosas powders, the Cloud Set powders. Very similar product. I ended up buying the darker shade. This is the shade 60 Ebony Deep Red because I wanted to test it as a bronzer, and here are my thoughts. It's pretty, right? I have it on my skin today as a bronzer and I think it looks beautiful. When I first went in to apply this, I grabbed the 104 brush and I really loaded the brush up and I went to the face and I made a mess. I had this deep like circle of like, deep bronzer that was way too dark for me. And I was like, oops. But then I tapped off my brush and then I went and lightly sweeped it on this side and it applied beautifully. I went back and added foundation, kind of fixed and patched that area up, and then used light pressure, a little bit of product, and it was perfect. So you definitely can use a deeper shade as a bronzer is my point, but they're pretty pigmented. They're pretty pigmented. So if you do use it as a bronzer, you want to use something fluffy, soft, and light to apply it. You don't want to use a dense brush. I think if I would have tried to use the 107, like I do for other bronzers, I would have had a really like streak. So as I'm sitting here telling you you can use it for bronzer, I feel like I'm also talking you out of it. I think the end result looks really beautiful, but you have to know how to apply it. So there's just my little 2 cents. I did, however, also use this in my eyes. Do you see it in the crease? This applied beautifully as eyeshadow because it is so pigmented. It is beautiful. I will continue to use this as bronzer and I will use this for eyeshadow. It's a really beautiful powder. Highly recommend this formula, really nice. Okay, for their blush, I love their powder blush. This is the shade 06 Flirt It Up. I have it on the cheeks now. This is pretty sheer, so when you first go and apply it, it's a light sheer application, but you can quickly and easily build it up. But this is not a blush that packs a lot of pigment initially upon application, so it makes it really easy to apply. It's matte, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it, so even though it's matte, you still get a little soft light reflection happening, so you get a little bit of that subtle radiant highlight. Very subtle, but I say that because I don't find myself wearing matte blushes a lot unless they have that light reflective quality to them. You know, I don't need them to be super highlighty or pearly or shimmery, but I do want a little bit of, you know, just a little bit of light bounce back when I turn my cheeks. And this one's pretty. It's just a really pretty soft pink. Very nice. It looks like it packs more punch than it actually does, so it's more on the sheer side. Okay, Sephora's eyeshadows. I have several of their palettes, but I really prefer their individual shadows. I don't know if the formulas are different or what, but I really prefer their individual shadows. There were a couple at the Sephora counter that I was trying to pick up yesterday, but they were out of stock. They have a lot of really great shades. Drop a comment, let me know. Do you guys still buy single shadows or do you only buy palettes? You know, back in my early MAC days, we sold tons of those single shadows. That's how you bought eyeshadow, you bought singles. Now I feel like the single shadow is a lost. People aren't buying them anymore. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't know. This shade is the shade To the Moon and Back. It's what I have on my eyelid and it's really pretty. It's like this light olive kind of silvery pewter shade, but the formula is nice. Both the matte and the shimmers are great. So my recommendation, whether you like this shade or not, is to go and find a shade you like because the mattes are really beautiful and they have a ton of shade options. A lot of really beautiful warm neutrals, a lot of cool neutrals, and then some fun pops of shimmer for the lid. They're great quality. Okay, friends, let's talk about their eyeliners. I really like their eyeliners. I have 2 shades here to recommend if you like browns and neutrals, and I'm wearing them both. I have one on my upper lash line. It's the darker shade. This is the shade Shimmer Espresso. And what I like about these is they're mechanical, so you don't have to have a sharpener, and they're pretty fine tip. So you can still get a nice tight line, not super tight as if it's a sharpened, but you can still have control over the line. And this is a pretty chocolate brown with a little bit of shimmer. I used it on my upper lash line, then I used the BK Beauty 208 to kind of wing it out. And then this shade is really light, and I was on the fence at first. This is Shimmer Taupe. It's very light. I wouldn't recommend using this on the upper lashes because it's not going to define the lashes too much, but it's a great shade for the lower lash line. It's what I have on my lower lashes. You guys know I like a lighter eyeliner on my lower lashes. I think it just opens the eye up more, and this is really pretty. And because it has that shimmer, it reflects light and just softens that up. It's a really beautiful, just soft taupe shade. Okay, friends, let's talk about lips. I have 3 lip products to share with you. So their lip liners are really nice. They're very creamy. They glide on really effortlessly, very pigmented. You can line the lips and then you can fill the lips in with them if you want longevity. They last forever. This is the shade Soft Suede. So it's more of a cool tone, mauve-y, kind of neutral nude shade. Typically I wear warm shades on my lips. As I was applying this on my lips, at first I was like, I don't really know that I love this color. But once I put the lipstick and the lip gloss, I'm like, I love this lip combo. This is just perfection. And I use this lip pencil. But great quality, pigmented, creamy, smooth, long lasting. The lipstick that I topped it with, and I love this. This is so good. This is the Lacquer Shine lipstick, and I think the shade is 01. You know, they don't have names on here. It just says 01 Lacquer Shine, and then it has like a little, I think it's their batch number. But I'll have everything linked and tagged in YouTube Shopping and then description box. So if you're curious what color this is, you can find that down below. But look at this. This is the most creamiest, shiniest, peachy nude lipstick. Isn't that beautiful? This is gorgeous. Lots of color, lots of shine, really comfortable on the lips. So good. I'm going to pick this up in a couple of other shades because this formula is so good. And I feel like I got really lucky because this color is perfection. It's just perfection. And then last but not least, their lip glosses. These are the Outrageous Lip Plump Effect. This is the shade 01. It looks a little more pink than I think it does when you buy it, just because it's been mixed with all my lip colors and then put back in here. This is a high shine, glass-like, mirror-like finish. It's got a good traditional lip gloss texture. Like, it does have that kind of glossy, tacky, sticky feel to it, but it feels good. I like it. It's not uncomfortable. I really love it. And for a gloss, it's very long lasting in the sense that it really grips to the lips and the shine stays for hours. So really great formula. The colored ones are pretty sheer, so you can wear them as a tint alone, but you can also top them over lipstick and you'll still see the lipstick that you're wearing peeking through, but really fantastic formula. Okay, friends, those are my picks from the Sephora collection. And again, everything is 30% off right now if you shop it during the Sephora savings event. Regardless of what tier you are, it is 30% off, which is a huge savings. So I hope this video helps you when you're making your shopping list. Again, everything's tagged in YouTube Shopping, linked in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.